Good afternoon, folks. Here we are closing in on the end of the adventure here. Grease pit. It's about ready to be sent home. I got one last installation here, and this is this deep sump. And so follow along, and I'll show you a couple little neat tricks that I've kind of come up with throughout the years, and hope they're helpful. What we got going on here is the deep sump. It's the hardware that we got going on. 5 nuts, 5 bolts, 1 nut, and 1 gasket. And pretty much all the tools we're going to need are a 10 millimeter and then a Allen wrench, which is 5 millimeter, and a 5 millimeter Allen wrench. All right, now what I do basically when I'm prepping the case is I remove the studs. The studs look like these, and well, you can actually put them on this side of the sump if your sump doesn't have them. You'll have to pick up an extra one because well, actually, you won't have to pick an extra one. You'll just have a longer one. And then after you remove the studs, it's always good to run a tap through here to clean the threads up and to remove the dirt and the buildup. And get a lot of sediment on the backside. And after years and years and years of the engine running oil, it winds up getting some sediment on there. So it's best to do all that before you get this far in the process. That way you don't have any dirt falling down into the engine. This stud here is actually a longer stud, and there's a nut on the back side that holds the pickup tube in. And then I go down to the hardware store and I get 5 of these bolts, and then I get an extra long 6 bolt that's extra long. So there's no longer a nut on the back side of this stud. It's actually a full bolt. And then I just like to bolt the sump to the engine case using the bolts. The reason I do that, it's a lot easier for the installation. You can use an Allen wrench. It's easier to get an Allen wrench in and out of the deep sump here versus trying to get a 10 millimeter wrench in there and tightening down all those little pesky the nuts. But I do have to do at least one. And then I pre-measured everything, so make sure there's enough studs sticking out for that. And make sure there's enough threads that go down in here. These are 6 millimeter by 100 millimeter pitch. And I don't really remember the length. Let's see if I still got a measuring device. I'm actually prepared with a measuring device. So these are probably measured in millimeters. But basically, they are, not counting the head, 3/4 of an inch long, not counting the head. So this one in here is probably actually 1 inch. It's a 1/4 of an inch longer. Probably, like I said, the hardware store probably will go by millimeters in there. These ones are 20 millimeters, and I'm sure the other ones are probably about 26, 27 millimeters. But it's always a good idea to pre-fit everything before you try to do the final assembly. Now this pickup tube is neat. I've never worked with one of these before. This is actually a product from CB Performance, and I'll list the details down below in the description. But it's all one piece, no welding required. You are required to cut it because it comes super long, and it's come super long so you can cut it down for whatever deep sump you're running. And it comes with a nice little cutting guide and stuff, and it's pretty fairly easy to do. It's a great idea. And they recommend cutting it on a 45 here, basically so when you accelerate, all the oil is going to go to the back of the engine, and makes it easier to suck up. But let's get to work. Start prepping the gasket. All right, same deal. We're just going to squeeze some RTV on here and work it around again with our fingers, rubbing it into the gasket. This gasket's really thick, so you don't have to worry about tearing this one. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could probably still tear it, but not like that finishing oil pump gasket, which is really thin. And said before in a previous video, they make a gray silicone now, ultra gray. And I'm kind of tempted and try it out just to give it a test. Seen some other guy in a video recommending it with turbo applications. He seemed to think that the gray was the way to go. Now this gasket, it's a little thicker, so it's a really good idea to get the edges here, help seal it up. All right, now on this this case over here, I do know we've already discussed this with Jeremy, but this case has got a little bit of rot down on the bottom here. The studs seem to fit in there really well, still strong, even though it looks like most of the threads are gone, but we'll just have to be careful tightening everything down, try not to over torque everything. And since it is a little rough, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to add just a little extra silicone on this side, just to help seal things. We'll spread it out, rub it in, try to get it in all little nooks and crannies. Hopefully this doesn't become an issue. It is going in an off-road vehicle. Alright, and then we're going to put the gasket on and line it up with the holes. And now go clean our hands. Got the hands clean back at the installation here. Now I got to be careful here because Jeremy's got a note on here and it says front flywheel side. So I got to make sure this side faces the flywheel side. He must have something special with this plug here. He likes to do this venting, I believe he vents the bottom of the heads, runs them back down into the sump. Seems to work for him. I haven't tried it yet. Well, we're just going to easily set this, make sure again, yep, flywheel side, flywheel side. Now the fun part, not dropping anything down into the engine case. Alright, try to relocate here. Hopefully you can still see me in the camera. But the most important thing is the GoPro. But try to get in the light a little better. It's kind of dark down in here. Not too bad with trying to see what to do, but trying to film isn't the easiest. I said in a previous video, probably a couple previous videos, that some of the later cases had cutouts and they staggered the top bolts so they're not lined up with the bottom bolts, which you can see would make it a lot easier. I could get a straight shot with the Allen wrench. And I'm forgetting a step here. Back up. Now that I got 3 installed. Alright, now start back over again. I forgot the Loctite. Use red Loctite here. Well, at least I know the sump's lined up. Always had this story with conversation with Jeremy. He likes Loctite, but he says never use that green stuff that Gene Berg always recommends. That stuff never comes off. I've never even seen the green stuff. But I'm sure if you're probably in the machine tool industry, you probably know all about it. All right, that's it for Loctite. The nut's got a nylon locker on there, so I won't put any on there. But I still use these little tiny wave washers or spring washers. Even on the nut, I'll still use that. I put one underneath each one of the bolts. All right, that started. That's where 10 millimeter will come in handy. Now it's just a matter of just slowly tightening everything down. I kind of like to do every other bolt trick, kind of like when you're putting a spare tire on, or a tire on. Doesn't matter if it's a spare tire or a regular full-time tire. I still like to do every other one, slowly go down. Nobody's in a hurry here. All right, now we're going to take the wrench and weed it into the Allen wrench, and we're going to torque everything down. This will give you more leverage. It'll be the opposite with this, kind of. Usually what I do is I stand it up on the nut. This is kind of tricky, you gotta be careful so you don't slip off the nut. Oh, I don't like using the nuts. They're not easy to get on. They don't leave you enough room to put a socket on them either. But then again, that's the one we said we had to be careful with because there wasn't much threads left there. There, that's it. See if we can get another turn on this nut. Yes, that's going to be it. Now I'll show you his fancy-dancy oil pump cover here. Again, I've got wave washers. Take a look at it over here. Wave washers, 2 gaskets, and I went out and bought some Castle nuts. This product didn't come with the hardware. I had to pick the hardware up. It comes with this O-ring kit. Get a big O-ring, goes around the top here, then small ones will go in each one of these little holes. And then it'll go on here, of course. And looks really nice. It comes with a really super strong pickup magnet. That's strong. Matter of fact, earlier I was looking for the mounting hardware. Go, hey, Jeremy, I know I bought you mounting hardware. Where's it at? No, there it is. But it's, all right, really nice product from JayCee's here. I'll link it down below again. But yeah, he's got some really nice stuff. Impressed with the quality and the thought process that goes into making these, and it's dingo improved. But yep, in case I forget, there's the contact information. All right, folks, this has been a really fun build, and I hope it's been an educational build for you. We'll get her flipped over here and take another good look at her. I'm not going to button up the sump cover. Jeremy wants to put a screen in it, and I don't have one here, so he's going to get one and put it on. But this is as far as I'm going to go with the build. Jeremy's going to finish capping it all off and putting all the rest of the stuff on it. But I did tell him I wanted to videotape the first startup, so hopefully we can bring that to you, and hopefully everything goes well. We'll cross our fingers. I'm sure it will. This thing should run really, really, really well. He put some really good stuff in it. But yeah, I hope it's been educational. And I'll close out the video here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and if you like the video, share it. Subscribe if you want to see some more of this stuff, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. But yeah, I got to start getting on to my own projects, starting to put my stuff on the bench over here, and it's time to send this one out the door and down the road. Give Jeremy a call here and let him know he can pick it up. Until next time, I'll keep the flat side down and the shiny side up. Catch you later.